Well, hello again. Today we're doing a little bit of automotive troubleshooting. We are sitting in the cab of a 2000 or 2001 Chevy S10 pickup equipped with the Vortec V6. And the customer basically described to me a hesitation issue over the phone. We're kind of thinking, yeah, maybe it's the fuel filter, might be something else. And like most issues when it comes to automotive troubleshooting, nothing is better than having it in my hands. So I'm going to demonstrate to you the hesitation issue. So let's go for a drive. Now, the hesitation actually doesn't occur under wide open throttle. There's a sweet spot that it occurs at, and it's not really a hesitation. It's like a complete fall off in power, and then it comes back. And while this is all happening, I want you to also pay attention to the coolant temp gauge. That was what I immediately noticed. Okay, here we go. No hesitation yet. Looks like we'll have to drive it for a minute. Decelerate to about 35 and then pick back up. Oh, it seems okay. There it goes. Let's see if I can duplicate that. See that? Do it one more time. Yep, about 1700 is the sweet spot. So anyway, after almost immediately noticing that, once the engine was warmed up, it occurred to me basically we have an electrical issue. I mean, without a doubt. What's happening here is the coolant temp sensor either has a short or a break in the circuit intermittently, and the engine all of a sudden thinks that the coolant temp is, under 100 degrees, maybe even cold, whatever the coldest registered temperature is, because the gauge obviously falls off there quite fast. So the engine thinks it's cold, it injects a bunch of extra fuel to go back to the warm-up enrichment circuit and chokes out the engine rich. And the coolant temp sensor regains connection and almost immediately comes back. There it goes. Ooh, did it bad that time. But if I floor it, it's fine, because the resonance of the engine stays outside that sweet spot that makes it trip up. And of course, upon the slightest bit of investigation, our problem reveals itself. Right in between those two wires running vertical is the plug for the coolant temp sensor. And as you can see, fucking connector's busted off. Customer mentioned that they recently had this serviced, so it looks like the bastard broke it off and then didn't bother getting a new one. Guess it was going to cost him too much. It only cost me $17. I found this sitting exactly as it is. It's been there a while. Yummy. Alright, well, we're back together and running. I went ahead and replaced the upper radiator hose while I was in there. This one didn't look too good. It was rubbing up against the air box right here because whoever worked on this last didn't properly put the hose back, so got a new hose, and the sensor is way the hell down there. Right in between those lines. So let's take it for a spin. Driving around about 10 minutes now, and the problem has not presented itself. Cool. Give the engine a little bit of wash and give it back to the customer. All done. When I rev the engine, watch the speedometer. Definitely not moving anywhere. I was doing an oil change on this, and noticed the valve cover gasket was making a giant mess. So I went ahead and put a new one in. This engine's got 120,000 miles. And that's what it looks like inside. That is what regular oil changes with non-Pennzoil oil looks like. It's actually not much wear. I mean, some of them you can see a little bit of marks. But for the most part, you can actually still see the machine surface. So, looks good. It'll come up good.